What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be discussing the Chicago Bulls and just how bad the offensive end for the Chicago Bulls is. Now, there is a tweet from K.C. Johnson that actually discusses and ranks the Chicago Bulls in pretty much every offensive category, and that is something we're going to dive into today to see whether or not it's actually improved from last season to this season. Oh, again, I just gave you the spoiler. It's not really improved whatsoever. Before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. And let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls and can they improve from these stats that we're going to be providing for you today. Now, keep in mind, there's only 7 games into the season. We still have, what is it? Over 70 games to focus on at the end of the day. So again, there's still a long time for the Chicago Bulls to try and figure out these issues, but so far we have been worse as a team, and we're coming into preseason thinking that the Bulls are going to improve offensively. They're talking about the ways to improve offensively when they're talking about more threes, they're talking about attacking the paint, they're talking about ball movement, they're talking about less isolation. However, in a lot of these categories, we've actually gotten significantly worse. So let's discuss these things first and foremost. Through the 7 games that the Chicago Bulls have played, their offensive rating is 26th in the NBA. Their defensive rating is 23rd. So that's not even an offensive stat, a defensive stat for the Chicago Bulls. We are 23rd ranked in the NBA at this point in time. We were top 5 in the NBA last season. This season, we are 23rd. Now, out of everything that's going to be here, I truly believe that's the stat that will change. The defensive end for the Chicago Bulls will improve. We have more and better defenders than we did last season. So in my eyes, I truly believe that will be the step that allows us to change. But not good at the very beginning of the season. Our net rating is minus 8.8, which is 28th in the league. But look, there's a saving grace here, ladies and gentlemen. Out of all the things that we're first in the NBA, you know, there's not many of them. We're first in turnovers per game, ladies and gentlemen. That is a cause for a celebration if I've ever seen one. We give the most turnovers in the NBA. We give the ball away the most in the NBA. Other teams must be throwing parties for us because we're just so giving. We're such a giving team. We give people the ball and they go and score on us. It's fantastic to see. Of course, it's good to see that we're first in that category. But assists per game, we're 29th in the NBA. So a stat that we were actually, I don't think we were terrible at last year. All of a sudden, we're ranked second last in this season. And that goes to show that isolation and hero ball is still a thing for the Chicago Bulls. We're very pick and roll heavy. And in pick and rolls and isolation, there's not a lot of assists that goes around for the Chicago Bulls. So that's something that absolutely sucks as well. But there's more. There is more. We're talking about pace. Again, shout out to K.C. Johnson for actually, doing the research for these stats. I don't give him enough credit in all honesty. Again, pretty much every single tweet that I discuss, it's basically one of his tweets. So shout out to him. But the pace of the Chicago Bulls is the 29th best in the NBA. So there was a whole conversation about playing quicker. And we even had videos on this channel discussing how can the Bulls play quicker. It would have to be in transition. It would have to be with the ball movement. Doesn't seem like any of that is actually improved for the Chicago Bulls thus far in these 7 games. We are ranked pretty much second last in pace, which is astonishing to me. I want to know who's last because... yeah, 29th is embarrassing for a team that we have. Zach LaVine, athletic as he is. Guys like Kobe and Pat that love to run. Io, a transition guy, loves to run. Caruso loves to run. I mean, there's so many guys that loves to run on this team, yet 29th in the NBA is astonishing. But we're getting to the stats that we truly need to look at here. The 3-point attempts and the 3-point makes. There was a lot of talk about how the Bulls need to improve their 3-point shooting. They talked about adding a 3-point shooting coach, and they did add a 3-point shooting coach into the team. They talked about getting different guys into the team to be able to shoot threes. Javon Carter, a 39% 3-point shooter. Torrey Craig, a 39% 3-point shooter. Bringing them both into the team should hopefully allow the Bulls and unlock them to shoot more threes. Well, technically, we have shot more threes. We're 26th in the league in terms of 3-point attempts. We were pretty much dead last in that category by a long mile last season. We're not dead last in that category as well. However, we are 28th in the league with makes at 9.4. We take about 30.4 threes per game. We make about 9.4 threes a game. Wow. So it goes to show that maybe our problems were not necessarily just we don't shoot enough threes. Maybe we just don't have the personnel to be making these types of threes. So maybe the Bulls try to, find players that can shoot the ball. And unfortunately, it looks like there's a lot more issues offensively for the Chicago Bulls at the three-point line than maybe even we anticipated. So that is something we got to look at. But one thing that I don't know the stats for this category last year, but one thing that I actually liked about the Chicago Bulls thus far offensively, at least something I've noticed, is that we are getting to the line a little bit more. Again, I don't know the stats of that last season. Maybe I'm talking complete nonsense here, but the Bulls are 21st in free throw attempts and 19th in free throw makes. So I feel like that is an improvement. I could be wrong, but just watching from the eye test, I do feel like the Bulls get to the line a little bit more this season than they have in previous years, especially 2 years ago. I feel like 2 years ago, the Bulls were just never known for a team to get to the line. It was just DeMar DeRozan getting to the line and nobody else. I feel like this season, you're seeing a little bit more diversity in who gets to the line. DeMar DeRozan is still one of those guys that gets to the line, but Vucevic has gotten to the line a little bit more. Zach has got to the line a lot more for the Chicago Bulls. There are some games where Zach literally can't buy a bucket, but he can buy the free throws, and he gets to the line and he gets his stats that way. So there is a lot to like in that regard. And again, it's a good thing. That might show that we are trying to attack the paint a tad bit more. And that was a key thing going into the regular season, trying to attack the paint. And by attacking the paint, you can create, I guess, offensive opportunities from the three-point line. But for whatever reason, our offense is struggling a lot more than last year. And it doesn't take a rocket science to look at it. Again, go look at the first 7 games of the Chicago Bulls last season. I think offensively we were doing better. This season, I don't think we can even buy an offensive game at the moment. I'm hoping that this next game against the Jazz can be a breakout game offensively for the Chicago Bulls, because we're going to need one. At the end of the day, there's so many people that have lost faith offensively with this team, and I just can't believe a team with Zach LaVine, who averages 23 points per game last season, DeMar averaged 24 points per game last season, Vooch averaged 17 points per game last season, and we are still falling, climbing, stumbling down in the offensive ratings for the Chicago Bulls. So there's a lot that needs to improve. I think the most astonishing thing right now is that we're ranked 23rd on the defensive end. That most definitely needs to improve, and we'll have to figure out how we can get on that side of the ball, how we can improve there, because that was meant to be our identity. Our identity was always transition points, steals and deflections, and, getting out on the defensive end. We've not done that very well as well. So much to improve upon. Will we ever see it? I guess time will tell. The pace, the Utah Jazz game, my apologies, is the next game for the Bulls, and they have a similar record. They're not necessarily flying in their NBA season. We'll see. If we struggle against them and we lose against them, and then we lose against the Suns and things get a little bit worse and down in the dumps, and you have a long time off and you verse the Pistons, which could beat you. I just don't know how the season is going to fare out for the Chicago Bulls. I think we all came into the mindset that we know this Bulls team is better, but not better enough to the point to compete. Maybe fight for just avoiding the play-in tournament instead of falling into the play-in tournament. Now we're thinking about this season as, we could potentially get a top 10 pick here. We could potentially get our own pick back by how bad we've been this season. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to figure it out along the way. And most importantly, the front office are going to have to figure things out along the way. They've got a big decision to make this season. Will they ride it out or will they change it? My motto, I've said it for a while, either find a way to fix it or get rid of it. That is my motto when it comes to the Chicago Bulls and the players involved in this team. What do you guys think about these offensive ratings? Is it a surprise to you? Did you expect this, or maybe you just... It is what it is. Maybe some people have already checked out. Some people are already in autopilot mode. So it is what it is. Thank you all for watching. Drop a like and a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. I will see you in the next Chicago Bulls related video. We're doing a watch along for that Bulls and Utah game. So stay tuned for that one as well. That should be a good one. But with all that being said, have a wonderful and safe day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.